Okay. Let's try this again. Okay, it is currently live. Okay, well, it's live on Rumble right now.
Okay.
I need to steal the Rumble link and go post it to Discord now.
Hmm.
Oh, Dusky. Good. You made it in here. We had May. I hate Rumble sometimes. We're not actually recording yet for the podcast. Let me copy this link over to the Discord thingamajiggy.
Did you already
Then
do the intro?
No. I just pushed go live so that I could make sure Rumble was actually working. We'll do the intro here in a moment. Where's my freaking buttons? I need link. Okay,
Technical difficulties do be a bitch.
Especially with Rumble. Hang on, Dusky. We haven't actually started yet. Rumble decided to not do.
Well, if he can see us, we've started.
Well, yeah, but this isn't going to be.
We just haven't finished.
I'm not recording.
That'll take another. We just haven't finished. That'll take another 30 seconds, if we're lucky.
Okay, let's go here. Ministry of Propaganda. Rumble fucked us. New link. Paste. Okay. Professionalism. Now we can go ahead and do the whole pushing the record button on the Rodecaster. And if I somehow have to pull this show off of audio, I'm going to have to edit out the front end. All right. Sound test. Batman. Right around there. Okay. Yeah, we'll go 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of AK-47 Radio, brought to you by the Ministry of Propaganda, as well as the Deputy Department of Technology, Communications, and we never screw anything up, and if you suggest otherwise, you will have to face the wall. Straight to Gulag.
I feel like I should get the Makarov ready.
You should, for me. Actually, no, that would be get it ready for whoever. Would that be inciting violence to say get it ready for whoever owns Rumble?
I feel like I should just have it ready, for reasons, and we'll leave it at that.
Dusky, I am not muted. I hear myself.
I hear him as well, sadly.
Yeah. Well, joining us tonight, we have the guy with the Makarov in the plan. Bill. Commissar Bill. Oh, Dusky, aren't you so clever? Our cosmonaut general, he is currently in orbit right now, so hopefully his parachute works. And here, trying to get Rumble to behave and failing spectacularly, it's Sam Alexander. I should change my name to something shorter. Now that'd be gay. So how you doing?
I'm doing, man. I'm here. I'm extremely sleepy, but I'm here.
Dr. Scary Guy says we were there the first time. So when we do our live stream, when we record the show over to Rumble and YouTube, all I saw on my end with Rumble was a live stream that had ended. So Rumble glitched out somewhere big time in the middle. I couldn't get to like a chat to post, to get the pop out chat for live comments. I just saw stream ended and that was it. So take 214 this summer. We are professionals.
Yes, as you say that, as my phone just makes noise because I forgot to put it on silent.
That's okay. It's just Spaceman telling us about his raspberries.
These raspberries taste like raspberries.
It turns out that Mike is secretly I think that would be the 3rd century Roman Emperor Diocletian, who has just gone into retirement, but instead of growing the best cabbages in the world, he is trying to grow raspberries. Personally, I think cabbages are better.
Ugh, gross.
Ooh, I like cabbage. You don't like cabbage?
No, dude. Sorry, I'm not Korean
I'm
or
not Korean
Asian.
either. Look, no. They like ferment the cabbage underground in jars. That's weird. The Germans
Yeah,
ferment it above ground in jars, and that's okay.
no. So if it makes you feel any better, no, I don't like cabbages, but I do like turnips.
Okay, no, I can get with that. That's another overlooked vegetable.
I don't like collards though.
I don't like those.
I'm a weird I'm a weird southerner. I
What
like
about
turnips and
radishes?
not collards. Not really. No.
Okay, see, my wife, and then when she plants a garden, she plants these little itty bitty cabbages that like grow fast and eat fast, and they just got a little bit of a bite to them.
Mm-mm.
Not like spicy in the sense of like south of the border spicy. It's just a
But
little
I
bit.
I also like a good like a sweet coleslaw, not a bitter, savory coleslaw. So my favorite coleslaw in the world is KFC coleslaw,
Okay,
which does have cabbage in it, but
I can get
it's
behind
good.
that, but it's 90% mayo.
Well, I mean, it's also very sweet.
Yeah, just like y'all sweet tea.
Roll Tide.
Oh, so I didn't know what Southern sweet tea was until one day I got some. Holy crap!
It's the good.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Makes your teeth itch and gives you diabetes.
I mean, to be fair, it may have been because I was expecting not Southern sweet tea, but just like everyone else's sweet tea.
So, for those that don't know, if you've ever been to a McDonald's and gotten McDonald's sweet tea, multiply that by like a factor of 10, and you're on the low end of Southern sweet tea.
Yeah,
It's the
basically,
good.
you take your cup and you fill it 3/4 full of sugar, and then the rest was with just black
Mm,
tea, and you give it a swirl.
yeah. It's somewhere between water and molasses in consistency.
Hummingbird food. That's the good description, Dusky. I like that one.
Mm. But with tea in it.
Yeah, but you can't taste the tea.
You can. It's sweet.
So we have
Actually,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, as a kid, I used to love. I don't love it as much anymore, but I would love to get the very fresh made sweet tea that my grandmother or great grandmother would make, and it was still like warm, like almost like a hot English tea, but it was Southern sweet tea, but warm. Mm, memories.
Ugh. Ugh. Anyway,
It's
we
the
have
good.
Dr. Scary Guy and Dusky from Rimfire Radio in the chat. I don't know why they keep coming back every week. They must really not like their ears.
You know what? I think like attracts like, and when you have multiple idiots on the internet on one show and multiple idiots on the internet on another show, we just kind of mesh. It's like when antisocial people hate being around other people, but they love hanging out with other antisocial people. It's the same thing.
Well, that's nicer than what I was going to say. I was just
Rimfire Radio is awesome.
I was just
Just
thinking that they park all the short buses in the same place.
I wouldn't trust them to drive buses.
I wouldn't trust me to drive a bus either, but I am going to drive a deuce and a half someday.
Mm.
I have told my wife that is now one of our life goals, to buy a deuce and a half and to take it to Nick Dooley from the AR-15 podcast so he can build an absolutely bitchin' gun truck with it. And she looked at me and said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "I don't know." Moving on.
I like this idea.
I want it to happen enough that I may put off buying some other guns for a long time.
That's
Well, okay. I'm either saving my money for one of two things that are going to happen at some point. Either Zastava's going to succeed at importing the M84, which is their, Serbian built PKM, or I'm going to buy a deuce and a half first. Both of these things will happen someday, but one's going to happen before the other.
I mean, I would like to be involved in this process in some way.
I just, I, I hope they can slip the M84, especially with the ATF going under new directorship and perhaps a new tone temporarily coming to that agency. I hope they can figure out a way to go, look, it's sporting now. And have it hammer fired and not have some kind of goofy striker fire conversion. Like keep the hammer fire and don't striker fire the thing.
I am very happy with the vast majority of what I have seen out of the current iteration of the ATF. One, I'm still not trustworthy of the three-letter agencies. But two, I also don't think that's going to last past 2028.
Oh, agreed, which is why it was
Even
current iteration type talk.
Yeah, no matter who gets elected and what letter is next to their name, I don't think that this big freedom energy that we are allegedly seeing is going to stick around.
Nah, you make me sad, depressed.
Well, welcome to my life. I have to look in the mirror every day.
I have to look at you every Tuesday.
Yeah, but I got to do it 7 times as much as you do.
You only look in the mirror once per day? That's bad.
It's all I can stomach.
Dr. Scary Guy, who we discussed the 590A1 looking stabby shotgun.
That's been there in every episode, I think, except for the first, maybe the second one. It was hidden behind the katana for a while, but yes.
590 is superior shotgun.
It is. There's no loading gate to grab the tip of your thumb while you're trying to reload the bitch. It takes a fucking bayonet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it.
You know what's wrong with all these freaking fancy, slick Beretta semi-auto shotguns?
Okay, hold on now, because that's one of my next gun purchases is going to be a 1301. So choose your words carefully.
They can't take a bayonet.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, if you notice, and Sam, you've been in my studio, you've seen the guns on that wall, that every single gun that's down here that can have a knife attached to the end of it has a knife attached to the end of it.
As God and the French intended.
Indubitably. So what'd you do this week to advance the party's interest?
Put my house up for sale.
Hmm.
That's about it. I've been dealing with that crap now. I mean, it's finally on the market. I never want to sell a house again if I can get away with it. Especially the current housing market is not entirely permissive.
Yeah. And a lot of that depends on where you are. Like where I am, I think I would probably, if I did a few things, I'd probably sell it for more than I paid for it at the time I bought it. But that's due to certain economic considerations for my area versus your area, which is a little further away. But yeah, selling a house or renting a house is god awful. I don't know how this happened, but I bought my first house in 2016. I closed, I think, in like January of 2017 on this house. And this was in North Dakota, in the middle of nowhere, North Dakota. I mean, there's like 1,300 people in this town. And I got it and then immediately had to get a truck, a brand new truck when I got there. That's another story. My truck payment for a 2017 GMC Sierra was more every month than my mortgage was for my house at the time. But then I went to move, and because it's an extremely small town, not any growth, nobody's moving there, I couldn't sell it, but I managed to find a way to rent it out. And when I rented it out, the guy and his wife were there for like 3 years. Somehow magically, when they decided to move out, I was able to sell it to some dude. And I made I paid 117, 118, I think was the actual like loan amount. I made after taxes and everything else like 35, 40 grand on selling that house. And that was like over what I paid for it is how much I got back. Which that's almost 33%. That's a lot. So it really just kind of depends on timing and the buyers.
Oh yeah, well, it'll all work out.
Yeah.
I did not need to see that Palmetto State Armory has it's a rebate. I don't like rebates. It has a A300 Ultimate Patrols on. Well, it's not a sale, it's a rebate, so I'm not interested anymore for Father's Day. Because that is in my near future too, is a semi-auto slug gun. For the Bears. And not the Chicago football team.
It is 10 millimeter granddaddy.
10 millimeter plus P plus 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 P plus P plus P.
Yes. It's like
plus
fucking
2,
binary.
And plus 2 because it goes from a 10 to a 12.
Yes.
Anyway.
Dusky says there's a Beretta that accepts a bayonet. There are really cheap, shitty bayonets that you can put on pistols with rails that I've seen before that are novelties at best, but I'm going to have to look up the Beretta pistol that was actually made to take a standard bayonet.
You don't want to know what gun? Man, at least we're going to talk about guns real quick.
Or maybe he's talking about a 12 gauge. I don't know.
The topic of this episode will be a continuation on our series, and we're going to pop into the PPSH 41. Das Papa Schau. But first, you know what gun? There exists a bayonet, and they're very rare, but they do exist. And I think it's more from black powder days, but bayonets for double barrel shotguns. I do not know why I want one, but I very much want one.
I immediately focused on the trench gun in that window.
Trench gun.
Because cool, sexy fuck.
Trench gun, cool, yes, but something about a double barrel shotgun with a bayonet on it. Just.
And am I weird for
Joe Biden, I want your heart out?
Yeah. Buy a shotgun, put a knife on the end of it. I want a trench gun, but I only want like the World War I, like hammer fired version. The ones that look more like I think they're Ithacas. They look more like an 1870 or 870.
Winchester 1897. Or are you talking about the Remington ones?
I want one that has an external hammer.
That's the Winchester 1897.
Yes. I don't want the ones where the hammer is inside the receiver like an 870 or a 590. I want the one with the external hammer. They also slam fire, which is a bonus.
That is a bonus. The Remington Model 10s, they were also built in that riot gun configuration. The cool thing about the Remington Model 10 trench guns / riot guns is, so on the Winchesters, they put that like cheese grater fore-end like heat shield on them.
Yeah. Which is a vibe by itself.
It is a vibe. The Model 10s, they did a wooden heat shield.
I've seen those too.
Understanding, they were prone to cracking, which is
sad. Wood. It's thin wood.
It is thin wood, but if you have ever seen a picture, and I'm about to share one, see, it tickles very funny parts of me that feel good.
It does remind you with that wood heat shield of a Garand. But the ass end of it, where hammer.
If you could marry the two, you'd have a really cool combination. But I saw one for sale in Shields last year before that. I mean, the thing must have been up there for $8,000 or something like that. It's like, man, I wish I had fuck you money, but I don't. So we're moving on with life.
Yeah.
And I think Remington or Browning, I think also prototyped a trench gun
If it's a
version
prototype, I don't want to hear about it.
well, it's of their semi-autos.
Yeah, but if it's not within reach, I don't want to hear about it.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it'd be cool. It's like the Rhodesian. Is it the Browning Model 10? What's their semi-auto shotgun they built back in the day?
Elmo doesn't know. Elmo doesn't know Browning shotguns. Sorry, it seems like Dusky wanted me to do my Elmo accent, and that was not the best version of it, so I apologize.
Oh, it's the A5. Oh. There's some FN at that point. Yeah, they're FNs, but FN Auto 5s that made it into Rhodesia with extended mag tubes and handguards. They're pretty slick too.
I have shot a Browning Sweet 16, which was pretty sick. My dad had one before he traded it or sold it or something.
Okay. I almost bought one of those for a goose gun or something very similar to it, and then I ended up going back to a pump gun because it's like, man, pump gun's a lot cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was the first shotgun I ever shot, was my dad's Sweet 16. And I was like 10. This was when I say my dad, I mean the guy that married my mom and adopted me. So I was 10 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, first shotgun I ever shot.
First shotgun I ever shot was a Stoger side-by-side at Chuckers that my uncle brought out to my parents' property and just kind of chucked in the air. I don't know if I actually hit any of them.
But you got the experience.
It was a good effort. It was a good effort.
Yeah. Dusky, you will get all the Elmo now.
Okay, that's just creepy.
You're welcome.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Well, to move on with life before you turn Elmo into even more of a pedophile, I intended to download.
I don't know that that's possible.
Well, we're going to find out. I intended to download a little bit of bumper music before the show, and then by the time I made it down here, I'm glad I didn't take the time to do it with how Rumble screwed us over.
Look, the cast is having a week, all three of us.
So here's your bumper music. Bump, ba-dum, ba-da-da-dum, bump, bump. So do you want to learn about guns?
Yeah, do we want to do that and then do advancing the party's interest, or do we want to?
Yeah, we're 20 minutes in. I think we can get to the topic for a bit.
Okay.
That way we don't leave the people hanging. All 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them. So,
we either hang them or make them face the wall.
You want to hang them upside down facing the wall? That's just cruel. Also, they'll get a lot of blood everywhere because it all gushes to their head.
We put them over a kiddie pool. It's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, we need to talk. All right. Well, I'll talk to maintenance. We'll get a drain put in that room. It'll be fine. Get some squeegees. That'll be okay. So, if you recall where we last left off, the Soviets had just gone through a small period of panic and a momentary lapse. Well, I shouldn't say a momentary lapse of judgment because they had a lot of those lapses of judgment, including the whole communism thing, in deciding that submachine guns were stupid until they got in that little tussle with the Finns. So we talked about the PBD-40, which is Degtярev's design. I learned to say that name, and so now I can't stop saying it or I'll forget again. So they put the Degtyarev, yeah. So they put the PBD-40 back into production, like, oh God, panic. And at the same time began working on a new submachine gun, which would give them easier mass production, cheaper, which is a good thing when you have to outfit all kinds of warm bodies with guns.
Mm-hmm.
Especially guns that shoot fast.
Which means lots of ammo needs to be made too.
If you don't need the ammo, worry about one thing at a time. As an aside, I think it's funny that as crude as like the Sten gun was, the Soviets. So with I'm skipping it a little bit, but with the PPSH-41, the Soviets managed to design a firearm that had no threads because threads require lathe work.
We don't need any more of that where we're going.
Where we're going, we don't need threads. So they go through trials. They tested out 2 different designs. One of them was was an updated design from Degtyarev, who took the PBD-40 and basically tried to make it cheaper, easier to mass produce. The second design came in from Grigory Spagen, which sounds awfully like a German name to me.
Mm.
It kind of rhymes with like if we're lucky his name's not Spaggins, because then we could say Bilbo Spaggins. Actually, that'd be even better.
I mean, we could say that.
They could have memes of Bilbo Baggins with with the Papa Shaw. Grigory Baggins.
That sounds like some AI slop I could get behind.
Oh, I would start doing it, but then I have to get away from when I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so he submitted the design that became the PPSH 41, which is adopted in 1940 after undergoing something like a 30,000 round endurance test, half of which is semi-automatic, the other half is in fully automatic, and for a gun that has a 900 round per minute rate of fire, half of that test went really fast. I hope they did the semi-auto test first, otherwise that was going to be a really long day.
It got slowed down by the fact that those drums take fucking forever to reload.
Well, speaking of the drums, the Soviets wasted no time. They basically just cloned the KP-31 drone straight over into the PPSH 41 because frankly, if it's broke, don't fix it. Or if it's actually no, that's how they. Oh my god, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Like I said, boys, we're having a week.
I'm lucid. So they adopted December of 40, but they don't have all the time and machinery to start really mass producing it until we get to 1942. And in 1942 is when they start going, look, submachine guns now for you and for you and for you. And the
like
DPD
Oprah with a Russian accent.
Everybody gets submachine gun, comrade. Just Oprah. That's another meme. It's freaking Oprah with submachine guns in her hands. So
be the only time she ever touched a gun in her life.
Probably. So to give you an idea of of how much easier the PPSH 41 is to manufacture compared to the PPD 40. The PPD I was about to give numbers for the next gun on our line. Never mind. Ignore that. We'll get to that one later. So the Papa Shaw, so the PPD 40, lots of mill and lathe work. The Papa Shaw is almost entirely stampings and welding. So you've removed all of the high skill lathe work out of the equation. Now it's just take flat sheet of metal, which stamping is not as easy as some people make it sound like make it sound out like that dude at SHOT Show 2 years ago who compared it to folding paper. But compared to milling and lathing, you right out the door. Now back to the drum mags, because those came up. That's the iconic PP, like every video game ever that had the PPSH 41 in it, it has that big ass 72 round drum attached to it. What the Soviets discover not too far along in this process, though, is that the drum mags don't work all that well.
Huh. So
and
you
it's not
mean
a
that
factor of the drum mags, actually. The drum mag design they copied straight from the Finns. It's an excellent drum mag design. I have owned I had 3 or 4 Suomi drum mags back in the day. All of them worked except for this is the exact same issues the Soviets had, where they bottlenecked on their drum magazines and then later on many of their box magazines was in quality control issues with the magazine wells, leading to a Goldilocks situation where you need to find a drum mag that works with your gun, and you need to hang on to that drum mag for dear life, because at that point they're not really interchangeable between guns as they should be.
Yeah, it was the early days of like mass production shit where it was all still, it acted like it was hand fitted even if it wasn't.
No, by now they should have had that shit down. It's just wartime production. They have dozens of factories producing these things, and even though they say here's the specs for everything,
Well, I mean,
Everyone's coming out with different shit.
there's a reason that like Lugers and Mausers and a lot of other guns had serial numbers on so many different parts, not just on the receiver. And it's not just because they were going to be super autistic about putting the serial number on everything. It was this part is supposed to go in this gun, not in any other gun, even if it looks the same. Also, Clecky's in the chat.
Hello, Quacky. So that is, I had heard that years ago and wondered if it was one of those bits of FUD lore. It is not a bit of FUD lore. Like, no, they had issues even with the box. So the drums are fun. Drums kind of suck though.
Yes.
They're heavy. They're a bitch to load. So like when you load up, and again, since it's a clone of the magazine, it's gonna be the same as those Suomi drums. You pop the lid off, you grab the mainspring, you turn it a quarter turn, you fill that bit full of rounds, you quarter turn it again, you fill in more rounds. It takes you a good 10 minutes to load that damn drum up. There's an excellent scene, and I think I talked about this when we talked about the Winter and Continuation Wars, but it's a Finnish movie, which the title on Amazon translates to Unknown Soldier. I don't know if that is an accurate translation, but one of the main characters of that movie just plows through a Soviet patrol in the snow, and he has to hand his, I mean, I'm guessing they probably took this from real accounts. He's handing his drum mags to his buddy to load while he shoots because they've only got 2 or 3 of them. And the KP-31 had a similar rate of fire, so you will burn through 72 rounds at almost the same rate as a 32 round MP40 stick mag. Twice as many bullets, same amount of time.
It go burr.
It do go burr. But drum mags are a pain in the ass. So it's interesting to see that both the Finns and the Russians around the same time start moving away from drum mags and back into stick mags.
I mean, every military that has, or even civilians for that matter, that have used drum mags, but especially militaries, they have found out very quickly that it's great for basically creating a very temporary light machine gun. And that's really about it. And that's only if the mag works well. I mean, I have a Magpul D60 and you load it, you shoot it. When you're out, you just go to a standard 30 round P mag or GI mag or whatever. Like you don't want to carry the things because they're bulky and they're awkward as shit to carry. I could carry probably 120 rounds in 30 round mags. And if I went to 40 rounders or put extensions on, even more than that, in the same amount of space as I could carry one D60 on kit. And yeah, you're heating the gun up faster. So you're creating those issues. You're carrying more weight because the magazine itself weighs more as a drum mag versus a stick mag, even when it's empty compared to multiple stick mags that would hold approximately the same amount of ammo. Like there are a lot of issues with drum mags, and every time a military tries to use drum mags, they end up relearning the same lessons that have been learned all these years over and over again.
And they are time and labor intensive to make.
Yeah, and load.
But even the manufacturing, there's a bottleneck of Papashaws going to the front because they don't have enough drum mags to go with them before they switched over production to box magazines. And it's funny because the Russians relearned this exact same lesson with the RPK, which started out with big ass drum mags. And especially when they get into Afghanistan, they are switching over to using, because at that point they're using the RPK 74. They've switched pretty much everything over to 40 round mags for the RPK because fucking drum mags are cool, but they suck.
Yes.
My opinion.
I think probably the only thing that's worse than a drum mag is a pan mag. So was it the RPD that had a pan magazine on top?
And the Lewis gun.
Yeah.
Although the
there are
Lewis,
multiple.
I've got a sweet spot for the Lewis gun, but no, Degtярev's, yeah, his, no, not the RPD. The RPD is belt fed. That's post World War II.
There is one.
It's the
DPM.
47 Degtyarev machine gun.
Yeah,
it's the same guy who designed the PPD-40. Yeah, he designed the DP.
That's awesome, Klecker. I hope it goes through. For those listening, Klecker says he thinks they have the constitutional carry bill at the Senate right now in his state.
That's in Michigan,
which is fantastic. Yes, I believe.
Sweet.
We need more of them.
Do it now.
Yeah. Get to the constitutional carry.
Go.
But yeah, no,
get to the concealed carry.
I think pan mags are probably the only thing worse than a drum mag. I mean, they made 100-round drum mags for the Tommy gun, and those went almost immediately out the window. Yeah, because you're carrying as much weight in the magazine as the gun weighs, and Tommy guns are not fucking light.
No, they are not. No, they are not indeed. So, 1942 goes on production. Full time, full speed, off we go. If you know anything about World War II history, 1942 and 1943 are kind of bad years to be a Soviet.
I mean, it's always a bad year to be a Soviet, to be fair.
That's an extra bad year to be a Soviet, though. But that's the meaning. A lot of these guns are putting out with atrocious quality control, which leads to those magazine fitment issues. But I guess when you're proof testing your machine guns out the factory windows at the Germans, I mean, give you a little bit of slack, I suppose.
I mean, that's definitely one way to speed up the developmental testing cycle.
Does it work? Yeah, this one works. Here you go. Well, this is going to be skipping ahead to the end if we make it this far, which we might. The PPS, the PPS in time would be the 43. So the SH, and then you have the PP. So yeah, the PP. So PPSH in Cyrillic, the SH is not two separate letters; it's one. So, but it's I'm not going to try and pronounce it. The P and the P are basically machine pistol, and then the designer's name. Same with we get the AK, it's Avtomat Kalashnikov, or what we talked about, the AS. I forget the number. No, whatever we talked about, the competitor in the trials, the AK. I forget the name, the number that came after AS, but that was for Sudaev. So they always put the designer's name as the last letter. So, but the PPS 43, before it became the 43, there was a little midpoint in the middle, whereas the PPS 42, which they were producing in 3 factories in Leningrad while the Germans were besieging Leningrad. So those guns literally did go from the factory that produced the most of them in Leningrad was they made it wasn't typewriters, but something similar to typewriters. They swapped it over to wartime production, and they literally were rolling out guns from the factory directly to the front line with no logistics train in the middle.
Yeah. I've heard stories of tank factories. The tank rolls out of the garage once it's fully operational, and right outside the garage, it's firing at the enemy.
They did that in the very first Call of Duty game I played. I forget which one that was, though, way back in the day.
Don't know how real that is, but I've heard stories.
I mean, whether the tank part is true or not, I can't say off the top of my head, but I mean, it captures a certain essence of the time.
Mm-hmm. We need this shit now. It ain't got to be perfect. It's got to work.
Well, I mean,
my great grandfather served in World War II, and he was in the Pacific Theater. He brought back a Japanese Arisaka that I grew up enjoying and I don't know, kind of putting on a pedestal as a kid, but I didn't understand it. Now, as an adult, I can look at that gun and I can tell somebody took a knife, some sort of handheld blade, and carved that stock.
Yep.
Because the pistol grip is not round. it has flats carved into it from where that stock was made for that very last ditch rifle. It is a mainline battle rifle, bolt action, that does not have adjustable sights at all. You can't adjust windage, you can't adjust elevation, you can't adjust range, you can't adjust shit. You have a hole in the back and a triangle in the front. That is it.
And they might point in the right direction.
Yeah. And you just have to presumably learn where your gun hits and use whatever the version of Japanese Kentucky windage is to figure out how to hit a target.
By that time, it's not really a rifle, it's more just a complicated spear.
Yeah.
So
it's a bullet delivery device to say fuck you in that general direction.
Turns out bonsai charges are a bad idea.
Mm.
But you see that same, I mean, you see almost the same damn thing with Mosins too, where you go from nice, Mosins produced, we talked about this. Oh, I just heard a beep.
I did as well.
Oh, look, it's Plow Guy Dave. Did I give you the wrong link again, Dave?
Nope. I found this one.
You found it.
Yeah, and I was like, "Hey,
we have an infiltrator."
Quick, get the back
some company.
Where's my Tokarev? Get the fuck out of here, Dave. So that's Dave from Let's Go Hunt who just hijacked my stream. Our stream, comrade.
It is our stream, comrade.
It is our gun, comrade. Now we must all share. No, wait your turn. You get with after I'm dead. But no, you see that we talked about that with the Mosins, especially pre-Soviet Mosins. But then as you get into the 40s, the quality control goes and never really picks back up.
Last ditch rifles are a common thing.
Or in the Soviets' case, it's kind of first ditch.
I mean,
you see the same thing. So the T-34, which the fucking History Channel used to say was the greatest tank in the world. I pulled up pictures of it. So a lot of the T-34s that were leaving the factories at this time had terrible heat treats on the turrets. So you get lovely images like that one, where rather than having holes in turrets where they get hit, the armor freaking shatters because it's too brittle.
Hey, but it was a tank before it got hit.
Oh, it was a tank before it got hit, but it didn't last very long. And they had design specs on how the T-34 should be built, and there's a lot of goofy corners cut. Like the track pins aren't actually retained. There's a metal, essentially plate at the track return that pushes the track pins back in as it advances.
Okay, Mike.
Oh, that's not. I'm not Mike. It's not an airplane.
Yeah, but that's your version of miking out.
Yeah.
No, his version of miking out is Roman battle strategics.
God damn it! Why would you bring that up?
I had to sit through it. Matter of fact, I put that screw right there in that wall whilst listening to it.
But no, you see that the same issue they had with production. You have T-34s that are cracked open. And I can't remember. I think it was one of the factories in the Urals kept sending tanks to the front without headlights and saying, no, they have headlights. But
sure shit.
When you produce 84,000 hulls and the life expectancy for each tank is stated to be somewhere under 6 months, I guess you don't worry about it too much.
Still better than a World War II flamethrower's life expectancy.
Yeah, that's not nice.
It's accurate.
They kept a lot of people warm, especially those little people.
Yes.
Can I be on this show if I have never shot a Mosin?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's not called Mosin Radio, so you're fine.
We don't talk about Russian guns for 90% of our episodes. You're fine.
Honest to God, I don't think I've ever shot a Mosin. You're
not missing a lot.
They're fun guns in the sense that they're historical pieces. They are not,
it's a gun that I wouldn't hesitate to hand to like 12, 14-year-old. Like, hey, you're going to go kill your first deer and by God, you're going to kill it with iron sights, use this.
I mean, unless it was that, unless it was the M44 Mosin I had that shot dinner plate size groups at 50 yards.
Hey, that just means
That's
they
my
got to
issue.
understand their gun.
I mean, my brother's Mosin, according to him, which I picked off the rack for him, he claims it's. He's never given me MOA numbers on it, but he's like, "Oh wow, this thing's a hell of a lot more accurate than I thought it would be." A lot of them, especially back in the days where you could walk into a store and there'd be a rack of freaking 20 of the things in the walls for $75 because nobody ever wanted to fucking buy them, and you could sit there and go through each one and check. Yeah, like I said, back when they were $98.
Yep.
And look down the bores and make sure it had a clean bore and make sure the action didn't feel like shit. And you can get a decent rifle out of there. And then as they started to dry up, your pickings get slimmer and slimmer and slimmer and slimmer.
I mean, they're called garbage rods for a reason, because gun stores would just throw a bunch of them barrel down in a garbage can in the middle of the store, and you could just go grab one and buy it for nothing. I've actually never owned a Mosin. I've shot one, but the closest things I have owned have been my two Finnish M39s.
Which are fancy pants Mosins.
Yes, extremely bougie fancy pants Mosins.
I really feel like I missed the Mosin train. Like,
I definitely did.
I hopped off of it at a bad time.
Yeah, I was really into hunting when I was younger, and then I was like, oh yeah, guns, and then it was like beer and women, and then it was like guns again. So it was right in that time where I'm like, God damn it.
Damn it, Dave, don't do that to me while I'm drinking.
Women ruin so many things for us men.
I mean, no regrets, but
you drink Keystone. You should have had gun money still.
Hey. Because I was drinking Keystone, it's not the quality, it's the quantity.
I was going to say, you underestimate how much of it he was drinking.
This is the perfect show for quality or quantity over quality.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not proud of my drinking days, but
you mean today?
I don't drink anymore or less.
So for everybody that's listening, Dave realized we were bombing tonight, and he jumped in to try to help us out.
Oh no, it's all good. I was like, hey, they're on. Oh, they're just a twofer. I'm like, fuck yeah, there's another hole.
Just fill in those holes.
Gross. I'm out.
He does it for a living. He might as well do it on the podcast too.
Shit you not. Yep. It happens. Pretty good at it.
Well, to round this out real quick. So by 1942, the Soviets are already looking to replace the PPSH-41 with an even more simplified design. It's just not too far from what we did, the US did with the Thompson. Like, this gun works. Gun is cool. Can we make gun cheaper? So we developed the grease gun. Funnily enough, it's the British who did this entire operation backwards with the Sten gun, where they started with the cheap piece of shit and then moved their way up. Everyone else went, how can we make this cheaper?
Mm-hmm. They were like, how can we make this more British with the pinky in the air? And then they made the Sterling.
I mean, the Sterling's...
I mean, it's a better looking piece of shit.
It's the Stormtrooper gun, sir.
Duh.
Say that.
It's a better looking piece of shit.
So they got two more contenders. Shpagin updated the PPSH, and then Sudayev, who we talked about a little bit last week, comes in with a lighter, even simpler design gun, which basically their procurement department says we don't like this one, but then the artillery department, the artillery department, who are the guys who make the final decision, say yes, we do. They build a lot of them that are designated PPS-42 in Leningrad. Again, that's where we're talking about guns going straight out the factory doors to go shoot Germans. But this kind of goes for the PPSH and then the DDP-40. but the numbers I brought up and almost put out too soon for the wrong guns. So I don't remember the exact numbers for the PPSH, but I'm gonna round them. I'm gonna round them up because I remember. I think they were like, okay. So it took roughly 13 kilos of raw material to make a Papashaw. It takes a third of that to make a PPS 43, and it takes 7.5-ish something hours to make a PPS H41, and it takes 2.3 machine hours to make a PPS 43. So they shaved their freaking machining time down by almost a third. So instead of making, here you have, if we're going to put out an order for 1 million guns, oh, by the way, here's an extra 300,000. Have fun. Actually, no, that's even wrong math. It's 3-to-1 almost ratio. So
Dusky says they don't get better, they just get more.
Actually,
comrade.
It could be
Quantity over quality.
No, it could be argued that the PPS 43 overall is a better gun, largely because the magazine, instead of it being a magazine that goes, they built a proper magazine well on the PPS, which eliminates all those issues with tolerances in magazines. So now you do have a gun that can take multiple magazines instead of being like, this is my magazine. If I drop it, I'm going to die. So
you guys want to do minigun fights? I found a Russian PPSH 41 full auto.
Oh god.
Numbers matching.
Oh god.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'll even share my screen.
Dooley says that's the original term for getting ratioed. We can build it. Oh, I'm going to guess somewhere around 45,000.
I was going to say 42,500.
It's transferable, right? It's not like SOT stuff.
It's CNR.
I mean,
so
it's pre-86 for sure, so we can at least assume that.
GatLab says 27K.
I'm going 42,500.
So this is still for sale, by the way. This is not a real gunfight.
Let me get my checkbook out.
53,500. So not far off of what you were thinking.
Yeah. They're fucking expensive. They are slick shooting. They are slick shooting guns. That, the successors to it, and the KP31 that they ripped off are on the side of full auto where the rate of fire is so freaking fast that they are apparently easy to control. Because at that point, it's just a constant recoil against your shoulder, so it's like squirting hose. On the opposite end, you get like the grease gun and the steady gun.
Wait. Squirting hose or squirting hose?
Why do I even pretend to like you sometimes? I'm not even sure.
I don't know either. I never asked you to.
It's like when you're really trying to get the rest of the toothpaste.
Just that one last drop. On the opposite end, you have really slow rates of fire. And in the middle, you have the shit you can't control because it just has some kind of weird fucking frequency against your shoulder. AR-15 podcast says it's the PC carbine we have at home. No, sir. Opposite.
That is the PC carbine we should have at home, but stupid gay ass laws say we can't.
I mean, 7.62 Tokarev is it's 350. It's 357 SIG before 357 SIG was cool.
Well, yeah, but it's also the communist version.
Well, I mean, SIG.
It's no, SIG is not the communist version. SIG is the mega capitalist version.
Yeah, but they've gone so far the other way that I don't feel bad calling them commies because they just want to fuck everybody over anyway.
And you're the reason we have these problems in our country today where people just relabel things because it sounds bad, even though it's not true.
If they can call me a fascist when I'm not one, I can call everybody a communist when they're not one.
Back to the PC carbine. I'd fuck with an open bolt PC carbine.
I have a PC carbine, and it's way heavier than it should be for what it is, but it shoots real nice.
Well, freaking Ruger or somebody put out an M-Lock handguard for the PC carbine to make it
Ruger did it.
PSH.
Ruger did it. Midwest Industries did it.
Everybody did it at this point. Simpsons did it. I'm going to be Mike for a moment and just say Simpsons did it.
I'm actually not completely unconvinced that Midwest Industries was contracted to do the OEM versions and then started selling their branded versions aftermarket. Because the one I have just looks like a camp carbine. I mean, it's got this traditional stock, traditional fore end. It looks like a black polymer version of Grandpappy's hunting rifle in 9mm that take Glock mags. So I think Midwest probably saw it availability in the market where they're like, oh, people want to tacticalize this thing.
See, but there's the problem again. It had to take fucking Glock mags.
No, that's not a problem. That is a feature.
The ugliest magazine they could have picked.
That's a feature, not a bug, my friend.
That's some bougie shit right there. The ugliest magazine. Ugliest.
For real. Also, okay, let's
aesthetically pleasing magazine you could pick.
Okay, but let's think about banned states like California, where that would be legal. But if you take the quote unquote tactical version of the PC9 that came with a pistol grip, an adjustable stock, an M-lock handguard, and a flash hider, is an assault weapon. But people still want to be able to put a light or something because that's their home defense gun. And they have all these Glock mags, whether they be pre-ban or post-ban Glock mags. Like, why create a new magazine that has a banana shape to it?
Called the Scorpion mag, sir.
Yes, which was already illegal to own in those states.
You are trying to use logic to argue with a man who is illogical.
Yes, because I'm talking to the audience right now to get them to revolt against you.
Well, most of them already don't agree with me anyway, because everyone's always like, "Ooh, does it take Glock mags?" I'm the only person in the world who's like, "Oh, it takes Glock mags."
No, I think Dewey's kind of on your side.
Okay, I would much prefer. I like Scorpion and MP5 mags aesthetically, and I like that they're double stack, double feed. However, if you've got a bunch of Glock mags laying around, you are reducing the barrier to entry in terms of cost of getting into a new platform if it takes Glock mags.
Look, I don't remember what
I feel
show
like a mediator.
You are the mediator here. I've actually considered asking you multiple times to give the deciding vote on some of these conversations.
I'm just saying, I don't remember what show I said this on last week, but when he put Glock mags in a pistol caliber carbine, it looks like it is severe overbite. Like dirt.
Except for that vector behind me, which it looks like it fucking belongs. And frankly, it doesn't look bad in the PC carbine either.
Well, what do you want? Dr. Scary Guy Queer mags? Do easy Mike simp for Glockmore.
Says the guy that takes 320s to competition still and takes his own life into his hands.
Because he ain't no bitch.
He's not taking his own life into his hands. It's just everybody around him.
It could be both. Anyway, I did have a couple of things from my week that I kind of wanted to talk about. I'll save the, I guess, more factor for last. So I took Sean, we like shooting. He created his civilian medical 1 class, and he set up a beta. And I took about 2.5 days, I think is what the timer said, when I finally graduated from the course. But I was taking notes and I was also taking breaks. I wasn't just trying to plow through it. I was trying to really absorb the information while also looking at it. I read every single word. I went line by line. I watched all the videos, because I wanted the refresher for the medical training, but I also wanted to see like, oh, hey, this is, an issue. AI messed this up, blah, 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 whatever the case may have been. To give him some really good solid feedback. So I had 13 pages of notes feedback.
This is why I'm glad you did it, because I would have had like 5 notes total.
Yeah. No, I really took my time, and I did it again. I will say it is, I've taken many online medical classes. It is the best online medical training, especially for civilian specific applications that I've ever taken. Period. Dot. End of discussion. I've taken some in-person hands-on scenario based classes that were better, especially if you've never had that kind of medical training. But if you've had that and you just want the refresher because it's been a little while, or if you just want to get some basics before you go take your first in-person medical class, fucking do it. It is absolutely worth it. It's amazing. So I did that this week, and that was a lot of fun. It was also kind of mentally heavy because I have found myself in some medical emergency trauma situations in the past. And so it made me go back to those memories and think, okay, well, what did I fuck up? What could I have done better? All of these things in the real world scenarios while I'm going through the online training module. So revisiting a little bit of wargaming. We all, as guys, if you're not wargaming scenarios in your head, you fucking should. Oh, I'm out hunting and a bear comes up. What am I going to fucking do? Oh, I'm at the mall with my family and somebody starts active shooting. Oh, I come across a car accident. Like, you should be thinking about these scenarios and having some sort of a basic plan before that shit actually happens to you in real life. So that was cool. It was really cool to be involved on like kind of the ground floor ish of that. But the other thing that I had happen this week was I'm sitting down here. I don't remember if I was in the middle of that course or if I was just watching a YouTube video. My HVAC, I'm in my basement. My utility closet is like 4-6 feet from me. My HVAC decides to catch on fire while I'm sitting down here. So immediately, like, of course, I'm not constantly looking around for fire, right? But the room fills up with smoke and I'm smelling the burning smell.
He's like, shit, I'm having a stroke.
I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know because my AC was running and then it just automatically clicked off. And I thought, okay, well, you know, that's the end of this cycle. It reached the temperature that the thermostat is set at. So it's done. Didn't think anything of it. And then the smoke and everything. So I'm like running throughout the basement looking for things. I'm feeling things for heat. I run upstairs. I'm looking. Mrs. Commissar is texting me. I don't know why she's texting me instead of calling me in this moment, but whatever. Something's on fire. I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, well, it's clearly the worst in the basement. So I think the problem is probably isolated to the basement. So I'm, you know, I went to the breaker box. Like, I'm running all over my house trying to look for the source of the heat. I'm like, is it in the walls? And that's why I'm not seeing any flames. Like, what the fuck is going on? So we end up calling the non-emergency number, but they connect us to 911 and 911 sends the fire department to my house, sirens and lights and everything. They pull the hoses off the back of the truck. There's a fire hydrant in my front yard on my property. So they didn't even have to go far. They hook up to that. They get the hoses full of water. I bring them in. They're down here in this room with everything set up.
Oh shit.
And at one point, the lieutenant looks at me and goes, "You've got a really nice collection, man." I was like, "Thanks, dude." Yeah, so I was feeling around for heat signatures and I was looking at all and I noticed this and you know, talking to the fire department about all this shit with all these guns and stuff. And I even told the guy before we came downstairs, I was calm when he got here. I was like, hey, I'll show you where I think the problem is localized to. There's a lot of guns, just so you know, so you're not like freaked out when you get down there. And he's like, okay, cool, whatever, you know. And then the whole thing, and we found out it was the blower motor in my HVAC that had caught fire, and that tripped the breaker. So when I went to my breaker, I was feeling for heat for like potential fire source there, but I didn't actually look at the breakers to see if any of them had been tripped because I'm still in like find the source mode, not in super deep dive mode. So I didn't pay attention to that detail. But yeah, no, they pulled my HVAC apart and they were looking, oh yeah, no, this is it. As we were walking down the stairs before we even got down here, he was on the radio like, yep, nope. Obvious signs of scent of electrical burn. Like, you know, they're the fucking professionals. They know this shit. So like it wasn't a false alarm call by any means. It's just thankfully the breaker tripped and my house didn't catch on fire.
Yeah, no shit.
So that's nice. But that was pretty much my week of, you know, going into that mode of either medical training and if shit happens, what do you do? And you don't think, you react, but you have the plan to react. Or when other emergencies happen in your life, you're not going through and going, what do I do? Oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? You actually have a little bit of a plan and you understand what you're looking for and you reach that higher level of help when you need it.
Did a little bit of poop fall out?
No.
Okay.
I think I pooped not too long before that, so
that's good. You don't want to have that happen.
Once I realized, like, because once I like opened you've been in my basement, Sam. Once I opened the basement door and it had been a little while, I had been checking the house and everything, the smoke kind of started to thin out. I was like, okay, it's not getting worse because the ventilation is helping. Okay, cool. Let's just get the professionals in here. They had their thermal cameras where they were looking at the walls and everything to make sure it wasn't behind the drywall and all this stuff.
We didn't see any fire, but there's a man hiding in your wall right here. You might want to
I would have grabbed the axe from them and started chopping through the wall at that point. But yeah,
literally in the walls.
But that was my week.
That's exciting.
Nice. That's a word.
Burned down.
I am very glad as well, but I know why you're glad.
Oh yeah, if all your guns burn down, you're not gonna have anything to talk about. I'm about to fire you and find somebody else. Like, all right, well, sorry, bud.
I've actually thought through this thought process quite a bit because I don't know why, but a house fire is one of the scariest things for me. Actually, I kind of do know why, but that's another story. But I have thought like, okay, obviously the thing I care about is people and pets. That's the most important. Yes, I care about my possessions and my guns and stuff, but that is not the primary concern. But if I were to lose everything in a fire, God forbid, well, I'm getting some insurance money from that. So how would I rebuild my gun collection from the ground up? Because all my guns are insured through a separate insurance policy. They're not insured through my homeowner's insurance policy. And there is no deductible on that valuable personal property policy. So how would I rebuild my gun collection and gear collection based off of that?
Oof. That's a good one.
I could think of some guns that are mistakes that I can.
First and fucking foremost is a 50. Just fucking cuz.
Just to make yourself feel better. A little retail therapy.
But don't want that. I would rather just keep all the guns I currently have, even if I look at them as mistakes now.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a lot of guns that are sentimental. They're generational guns.
I have those too.
And those would be irreplaceable.
Yep.
You could get one like it, but it will just never be.
Yeah.
And I try to not be sentimental with guns because they're tools. It's just a thing. But it's like that 300 Win Mag, that's the last thing I have in my granddad, my great granddad. That's it.
It's hard to see, but there's a Colt Detective Special 38 snub nose behind that light bar. It was my great-grandfather's gun, and that gun has been loaded and protecting my family for 4 generations at this point.
Mhm.
Constantly, 24/7. And I could never replace that gun.
So you are biologically required to use that for a stateside if anyone breaks into your house.
If that's what I have, then that's what I go with.
And SCD will get it back.
Yes, they will.
I think my great-grandfather would, even if I never got it back in a justified self-defense situation, I
Worth
think
it.
he'd be like, good job, son.
It's fine.
And he'd be okay with it. It
Yeah.
looks like you have a fire blazing in front of your face, Dave.
No. If I put my arm up here, my camera doesn't know which shade they want me to be. It's like pissed or calm, pissed or calm, pissed, calm, pissed, calm. If I put it down here, we're just calm.
Mm.
Pissed, calm, pissed, calm, calm. Oh,
It's his own
there was
little
a
light
flash.
show.
Oh, fuck me. I gotta get another. I gotta get another light bulb before the other show. Speaking of the show, I gotta go.
Oh,
Catch you
so
guys
do
later.
we. Goodbye, Dave.
Bye.
Well, man, I was going to ask Dave where we could all find him, but I'll tell you where you can find him. If you like the sweet, sultry sound of Dave's voice, he's over at Let's Go Hunt, which is another podcast that you may hear some familiar voices on the Firearms Radio Network, which is also home to the AR-15 podcast, to Rimfire Radio, to We Like Shooting, to Live Fire. There's so many podcasts. Just go find one that you like.
Or all of them that you like.
But we still have to be number one.
Duh.
We are above AR-15 podcast thanks to the alphabet. That's the only way we're above them right now.
It's the only way we'll ever be above them.
Hey, first thing I noticed when I did that drop down menu was like, ha, you got to go past me to get to Dooley. Okay, then. I think that'll do us for tonight. That was a big, long, meaty chunk, but I think it went pretty smoothly. Yeah. Well, okay then. If you're out there and if you're listening, get some medical training. Sounds like there might be a way to get some medical training on the interwebs, which is not as superior as in person, but frankly, it's better than nothing if you have a trauma kit that you don't know how to use.
Mm-hmm.
Because quite frankly, a trauma kit you don't know how to use is basically a useless pile of shit.
That's a gift for somebody around you that knows how to use it.
Know how to use it. Well, go out there, get some training, get some medical training. Go out in the field and use your gear. Don't just be a Lucas Bodkin who just fucking shoots in the flat range, then starts disparaging pieces of equipment because he doesn't ever actually have to fucking use them. I have a bone to pick with that guy. Most cringe new company names ever. All right, sweet. That'll do it. Thanks for tuning in. Find us at AK47radio.net. You can follow the link, join the Discord, talk about guns, call us stupid. I don't really care. I won't ban you unless you insult me. Even that, I probably won't ban you. Probably. Good night, goodbye, good luck, have fun, vaya con Dios, and whatever you do, don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Dos Doña comrades.